Hey guys, doing my first video post on Big Papelbon. I've done this on my Stroutmeister.com blog before, but given the fact that I've been a total schmuck in terms of updating Big Papelbon, I actually had a post written on the plane that is probably halfway done, but I thought maybe I'd just complete it this way. The focus of this one is, it's interesting now that I'm living in Austin, or mostly living in Austin. I'm not able to keep up with the Boston sports teams quite as much. I do read the Sunday paper, usually in the plane on the ride down between Boston and Austin. But there's been a lot of activity recently, and anyone that knows me knows that I'm more of a Red Sox, Patriots, Celtics guy. No disrespect to the Bruins. I appreciate the hell out of what they're doing right now, but I just have never been a huge Bruins fan. Still very happy with what they're doing. I just don't cover them as closely. So the topic of this particular post was just the idea of some of the fresh blood that has come into those three teams over the last few months. Certainly the Red Sox, they've got guys like Brad Penny, John Smoltz, a bunch of other folks, Ramon Ramirez, but really two veterans, two studs in Penny and Smoltz, and so it'll be interesting to see how those guys fit in. I have no doubt that especially Smoltz, who's more of the elder statesman type, is going to just absolutely act like a second pitching coach on that team. The two others that are more interesting, so the Celtics with Stephon Marbury. I was actually out with Kyle Flaherty and Brian Person the other night, and we were talking about this. And the consensus was that I think Brian's not sold on it. Kyle's somewhere in between. I don't really have a problem with it. My thinking is that Danny Ainge is a smart guy, and he's proven that out in some of the recent acquisitions he's done. Maybe prior to winning the title, he didn't seem quite as smart. But the team he's put together right now, and the chemistry that they've created with Doc as the coach, and some of the piece parts with Big Baby and Rajon Rondo and guys like that, and I think even testament to the other pickup that they did, Mickey Moore. Rather than going out and getting some guy who's a big, well-known person, they get more of a role player, which certainly helped them down the stretch last year. So it'll be interesting to see how Marbury fits in. I have to think that, for one, I did hear that he and Kevin Garnett, when they played in Minnesota together, some of the reason for the friction was because of the fact that they were both relatively young and both trying to figure out sort of what their role was, who's going to be the man, who's going to get the ball, who's going to score. And you can understand that if these guys are 2, 3, 4 years into their career and they're just trying to figure it out on a team that has been relatively successful but never went all the way, that can be tricky. So I think that with veterans like Paul Pierce, with Ray Allen, with Kevin Garnett, with a players coach like Doc Rivers, who I think is even though he's a players coach, is a no BS kind of guy, that Marbury's going to fit in, and if he doesn't, then they can cut him in relatively low financial impact. So very excited about that. So the third item that we'll talk about is the New England Patriots, and love their pickup of Fred Taylor. Sorry, today's the day I'm not that mentally sharp. This is on speculation, but Kyle was talking about the fact that he thinks that they might get someone like a Ray Lewis type. I hear on ESPN that it's more likely that he'll go back to the Ravens, and I haven't actually checked. Maybe he's back with them, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they could get a stud like him. The other interesting thing is Terrell Owens. I guess there are a couple of rumors floating around that maybe he would end up going to the Patriots. I highly doubt it, and as much as they took on Randy Moss and they've taken on Corey Dillon in the past, I just think T.O. is too much of a disruptive force, even if he's got tons and tons of talent. And you'd like to think he's learned his lesson, but between San Francisco and then the Eagles and now Dallas and the whole sort of fiasco last year, I just think that guy's poison. So anyway, would love to get your thoughts. Let me know, and if you like this video format, great. If you don't, then let me know as well. I know sometimes it can be easy. You can watch the video, listen to it quickly during lunch versus having to read, but you also have a harder time if you're looking at it on your BlackBerry or your iPhone in the men's room while you're doing your thing. That can make it tricky as well. So hope you enjoyed it, and if you like it, maybe we'll do more of these. So have a great week and stay tuned. Looking forward to opening day, which is a little less than a month away.